What's up, everybody? This is the Alienheads, and we're back again, starting off with a new discussion. And the last time we covered society and how society changed us, and how we advanced, and how we moved on. Now we're going to take a look at what helped us along the way, and what really changes us from everybody else. Today, what we're going to talk about right now is weaponry. How we started out, how we made them, how we're doing now.
From the spear to the nuclear weapon, to the bomb, to the atom bomb, to the JDAM, to the rocket launcher, everything. Anything that causes harm to humans, that can cause destruction, anything.
So let's get into this. So, when we started out, let's say Adam and Eve, and we were just a couple years down the road when we had our first problem, our first complication with somebody. We were just like any other animal. We fought it out. We bit, clawed, punched, everything. We did.
Figured out what we could do.
No, I wonder how like monkeys fight nowadays would kind of be like how we fought, just viciously like animals, right?
Exactly.
Do you think the first weapon for a human ever made was a clenched fist? Because does a monkey or another animal?
Well, technically, a fist is a weapon. Like you're technically.
You're modifying.
It causes
something.
harm, right?
Yeah, like
you're modifying the shape of your hand to cause harm. I guess it wouldn't be considered a weapon because a weapon's more of something you hold in your hand, like a tool. A weapon's more of a tool that you use to cause harm.
Yeah, it's more of like an innovation, I guess I would say. Just because we see monkeys and any other. I say monkeys a lot because that's the closest relative. But
you do say monkeys a lot.
I know, but I mean, there's really nothing else that's the best comparison.
No. I totally understand.
So when you see them or any other animal, is they claw, they bite, but are humans the only one that can punch? Like,
no, I really do wonder that because like the closed animals, fist.
Yeah.
I guess we're. No, like monkeys still use their thumbs. They use their hand, like the fist, like as a hammer or whatever. Right? Yeah.
Now for like a straight. Like a swing, like a right hook.
I've never seen like a swing, but I'm sure like if you looked it up, like I'm sure we could find something.
If you really think about it, doing that is actually really like smart. If you never thought about that before, that you're actually taking what you used to slam and fist and you're moving it forward and you're kind of putting like your body.
You're putting your body into it.
That's like.
It's creating more force and everything.
That's crazy to think about if you never thought about it before.
Yeah, exactly. Who is the first person to think that? What was the first species, or when did we evolve to think, if I throw my whole body into this, if I use it more of as a jab more than like a hammer, like over the head kind of blow, I can put more precision and accuracy and damage into it.
And so, okay, so it must have, and this is what I think is, we had to create the fist first, the punch first. And just like any other, like a monkey or any animal, we'll pick up a stick and use it as kind of like not a tool.
I think it's more of a It's more of a skill learned. It's not. Yeah. I think we always had it. It's just like something that we learned. Like how, say, you learn to walk. You're taught by other beings. So the older, like say, primates that have learned to use their fists and use their opposable thumbs to pick up tools and to use weapons and stuff like that.
Added 2 + 2.
Exactly. They just kind of thought about it for a second. If I can use this, I can actually pry open.
Punch.
Yeah. Can I jab? Can I stab? Can I use this in like a javelin type motion to spear?
You ever see like a
after that thinking, that's where it came into, hey, let's go attack this woolly mammoth. Let's get our spears together and we'll go and we'll jab it, and if we get a bunch of us, we can overpower this big creature and eat for months.
Yeah,
right?
and that kind of
feed our whole village.
That was kind of like when it got into tribes and like Indians, or like not even Indians, but like Wenja, like native tribes.
Yeah, native tribes, like
before the white man. I think I said it in our last podcast. If the humans never invented the spear, we're weak. For a metaphor, a squirrel can fuck us up. Like any animal can fuck us up because they have like defense mechanisms in the body. So humans don't. So we had the only thing that separates us, like humans are not supposed to be at the top of the food chain. We're not supposed to be there.
But we're only there because we've learned to use tools and weapons.
Yeah, exactly. We fought smarter, not harder. Mm-hmm. But then the thing is that you'll see a monkey like.
We don't need to put out all the energy to fight to win a battle because we have the tools. Nowadays, compared to back then. Nowadays, I can see you 45 yards away, pull out my handgun and shoot you.
No,
Rather than I have to come up, I have to
Because-
run up, I have to beat the shit out of you, get you on the ground, take advantage of
and then we started running
having position
we
over
started
top
doing
of you.
like
And,
two lines of people just run and meet to now all of a sudden this line's here, but the other people in the bushes surrounding them.
and for
you know?
war and stuff like that,
like
I've talked about a lot about that. I used to learn about that at an old place that I worked at, and we talked about how it was literally two lines, like say the red coats and the blue coats.
Yeah.
They would line up face to face, like say 20 paces from each other, and pull out their guns, and they would stand in a line solid, not moving. They wouldn't try to dodge, they wouldn't move, and they would literally just take a shot at the other person. And because the guns back then were so inaccurate, it was just a ball that you're shooting. It's not a spiraled projectile that's coming out of a bored barrel. It's more of shooting a BB. So they would stand in a line and they'd shoot at each other, and they'd sit there and reload, and you're sitting there and reloading, and people are still shooting at you. There's tons of people shooting at you, but
two fire lines firing against each other.
Exactly. But that's before we learned. That was before any dirty warfare, like trenches. When we used to dig, now we dig trenches. Now we find foxholes. We put barbed wire up, all that kind of stuff. It used to just be you meet in the middle of a field, you stand in two lines, and you shoot at each other.
So we invented the weapon, and we realized that we had an advantage over others, over other like species. Now, do you? I don't know, but is there like, two different, I guess, tribes, groups, whatever you want to call them, of monkeys, or any other animal? Wolves, I think, would be the next one that would do it.
Okay.
Actually, like two packs fight against each other for territory.
Okay, like territorial beef.
Because that's what humans do. Is now we have this weapon, and also like when was the
like
first
if you
person
come on my
to-
property now, it's personal kind of thing.
Yeah,
Just like wolves,
territory,
you come into my den, and then that's personal.
So-
I'm gonna back you up.
When did it become this weapon is an advantage for me to survive, to now this is a weapon for me to kill another human and succeed more, or for me to survive against another human? Which then started wars, which then started the evolution of weaponry, because now we needed more advanced weapons, because now we're not killing the animal we can just stab. Now we're killing each other, and we got to get more, because we're even. So right when we realized that, like, we could just get the advantage on the other. We could, like, we'd have the advantage. Like, we know we're not weak. We know we don't have a defense. Like, we take our weakness and make it our strength, because now we have like a trap there.
Mm-hmm.
But see, like, because first, like, it went from hand-to-hand combat, spears and everything. Once it started even, the first motherfucker that said, hey, you know what? Instead of, like, stabbing this person, I can take this curved bow and this string,
now I can make a projectile.
and I can send that spear flying, and I'm back here.
So now distance combat becomes a thing.
We went from like short range, like
to hand-to-hand,
we went from
swords
hand-to-hand, short range, to medium range, which is like swords, bows and arrows, to now long range. We're
now I can pick somebody off 1,000 yards away, headshot.
Yeah, and it's just nuts. And hell, now like you can literally sit there in your basement and control a drone with an Xbox 360 controller and kill thousands of people in a goddamn drone with a bomb.
And just thinking about the fact that now they're making that shit for everyday people. You have drones that you can pilot, like those quadcopters. You can pilot. I can sit there in my room with a camera quadcopter, and I can go observe what my neighbor's doing 50 houses down. You know what I mean? Because like all I have to do is just fly and look at a camera now. And if you think about sick people like extremists and stuff like that, they can adapt those drones. I wonder, like, there's got to be ways to adapt those drones to become now weapons, now explosives, now projectiles. Like, I can fly a drone. I can
drug mules.
Exactly, right? I can now take a drone and like those Amazon copters. I can now take one of those Amazon copters and go drop a pound off across the Mexican border.
Like, this was a sign on these drone things, but like I seen what these guys on YouTube or whatever was. These guys actually, it was crazy. It was awesome. What they would do is they're going tuna fishing. So what they did is they hooked up their fishing line to a pulley on their drone. And then they flew it out, and they're looking on the drone, and they can see a school of tuna. And they come in, and they drop this hook with an octopus on it, and they fish around, and the second one bites, it's just a pulley system. They pull the drone up, and then they have a better pulley system with the drone and everything, and he just reels that thing in and fights it. He can really go and
so like
the
drone just kind of carries the line in the sinker or whatever, in the hook, and like the bait, and carries it over, finds the fish, releases it, and then when it's released, like the fish bites on or whatever, and then you reel it in.
So this proves like now
that's
we
pretty
have, like,
interesting. That
even
they
now
use
like
drones for that
we can
kind of
have
stuff.
like advanced weapons for even like hunting and stuff. So
advanced ways of hunting, like sonar and stuff like that. All those.
What a fishing net? Because like a fishing rod, that would be considered a weapon, would it not? You're using a hook to kill another animal that you can't kill with your bare hands. You're using a tool to kill.
Yeah, but you're more using it to kill because the thing that
catch.
Yeah, you're using it more to catch. It's just like a trap. That'd be more like a trap, like a snare. A snare isn't considered a weapon. It's a trap. Like you're trying to trap an animal.
Yeah, okay,
a weapon is more of something to cause harm. That's just more something that you're catching it and then it dies because it can't survive without other things.
What do you think came first? Oh no, I imagine killing and weaponry in war. What do you think they thought about trapping? I guess maybe when we're able to
who thought about trapping?
Humans, like, let's trap. Maybe it's when communication got better and languages got better that we realized we could take someone and get information from them. So now we're like, how do we not kill him? How do we keep him alive and get information on him? Well, let's not kill him.
So, like torture?
No, like just like the idea of trapping someone.
Like trapping people.
Okay,
so say like Saw movies and stuff like that, like how they trap the people and
just like a hole in the ground with fake leaves covering it. You walk along, we fall through the leaves, and now you're trapped.
Okay.
Like when did that come about? I don't think any
I feel like
makes a trap. Well, trapdoor spiders, but that's more of like a home.
No. That was a perfect example. A spider, a spider's web,
like a Venus flytrap.
That too. A spider's web is a trap, and a Venus flytrap is a trap. Like
it's
something spider web's set up to trap other animals. Yeah. They don't use it to kill. They use it to trap the bug, and then they go and they put their web around it to suffocate it or let it die in the web or whatever.
Or even like the trapdoor spider, where you just walk and you just see like sand, just the desert, and all of a sudden this thing dug a hole in the roof and it just pops out, grabs you,
and pulls you right back into its hole.
You're done. Like
exactly.
It's creepy to watch, man. But so like trapping, like that became a thing where it's not even that like animals kill other animals and weapons and stuff. Now we're actually using we're trapping now.
Yeah,
like a bear trap. Like
it's not all about crazy. Weapons now. It's about capturing
and injuring. Now it's not even about who we can kill. It's about how much pain can we inflict to pin you down.
Yeah. And then if we look at like the evolution of weapons and everything and how it evolved from the spear all the way now we have nuclear weapons and stuff like that. Like think about that. Do you think that they thought when they had the spear they were like, this is a great invention, right? Like we have a spear and everything.
I didn't think it was going to get any better.
But like I'm sure they were like, I can only imagine the ways that we can improve upon other things, right? Like that's when they created the spear and when they created weaponry, they kind of got the creative juices flowing, and that's how we started progressing.
Maybe
through
that's
the weapons.
how imagination began, and that's all another animal needs is that little kick that we got.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Like the little kick that say thumbs or how we discovered weapons or tools or how to use items and all that jazz.
And they learned and that.
It's crazy.
But so what was it? We went from spears, and then I think it was bow and arrows, or
like distance weapons, like clubs, bow and arrows, and then from bow and arrows we got blowguns, and then from that we created gunpowder and guns, and
that's what I was thinking a lot. We watched that Forged in Fire show on
History Channel.
Yeah, great show, and I was thinking if you're just sitting there and you have your campfire, your little village, how do you come across steel? How, you know what I mean?
Yeah, how is steel discovered?
How do you do? And it's the same way I think about how the fuck
I think
chemicals
I think for steel, I'm totally guessing on this, but I think the way steel was probably discovered was they were mining for things. Once they discovered that wood could be used as a fuel for fire, then they realized, oh, this rock, this coal, this could be used.
What can this do?
Coal can be used for this too, so they're mining coal, right? And they're mining coal, and then they come across this hard, shiny substance. When they smack their pickaxe into it, it's really hard, and they're like, wow, you know what? That's actually a really hard material. Maybe we can find a way to use that to make tools. And it's just to think about that, like
it's such a long process to make a sword, and it's like
yeah, you watch that and then
how many trial and errors that they do. Like they must have like like they knew it was gonna work. Like there's no way you did that on your first time. Like
no, it's honestly it's years and years and years of practice, right? and generations of passing stuff down. And
so then we got swords, and man, like just even like the amount of swords, I literally think that there's just as many different kinds of swords as there are different kinds of guns.
Yeah,
and it's like I want to say all kinds of guns. I'm saying like different types of handguns or different types of like
different styles.
Mm-hmm. No, like as many different swords as there is one style of handgun, or like one style of gun being like a handgun.
Yeah, like a handgun, a machine gun, a shotgun.
There's something like the Viking sword, fucking rapier. Like I can go on and on, but there's so many different kinds. So we had so many different innovations and different ideas just for a sword, just for this little blade, and now we have knives and like so many different ideas of just a blade and how to kill someone and stab and which was better. And it's crazy how that happened. And then we evolved to like a musket or a cannon even.
Yeah.
And it just
when we started figuring out that we can use an explosive to send a projectile downrange and use it for long distance, that just changed the whole like weaponry and everything. Because as soon as we figured out that we can send a projectile downrange using an explosive, like that's the best thing ever, right? Like there's no
you're safe and
explosives. When we figured out explosives, it changed everything because with explosives came more destruction and came all that kind of stuff that we didn't have to worry about before. We just had to worry about getting shot in the back with an arrow or stabbed with a spear. But now we have to worry about, is my house going to be blown up? Is there going to be a suicide bomber on the subway train? Is stuff like that. Like they never had to worry about that. The worst that would happen is you got stabbed or even shot with a bow and arrow in the wilderness,
No, you won't even see it coming. Like you're just in Paris at a football game and all of a sudden, boom! And you're
exactly. And it's just so fucked up to think about how people could think that that's okay. That like a religion can think that that's okay to be that extreme and think that, you know what, if I kill all these people, that's going to make my life better. Like, just the extreme sides of things.
We even, and speaking of the extreme sides of things, is we even made weapons out of things that aren't supposed to be weapons, like a car, or like like we made a plane. We invented the plane, we're flying on a plane, what do? We fucking crash into a building. And this is how sick humans are. When the plane was invented, it took less than 35 years for someone to drop a bomb from it. Before we invented multi-people travel, when it was just still like a two-person plane, we still used it to kill other people.
Exactly.
Before we even used it to like our own greater good.
So just we found better ways to carry weapons and to provide fire, to provide
destruction. Really.
Destruction, yeah, to provide destruction. As soon as we found better ways, like to mount guns on jeeps and to mount machine guns or bombs to planes and stuff like that. That just.
We even have it now. Like, we even have fucking pen guns, dude. Like it's
like you can actually pick up a pen and shoot somebody with a 22.
Pen, bro.
Yeah, fucking 30 minutes or less.
And it's literally crazy. Like now they got like, I seen it. It's a phone. It looks like a phone in a phone case, but it's a gun.
I've seen. I've seen that gun one actually. I've seen that on Facebook the other day.
So literally,
it folds out the back of the case. Folds out.
I would hate to be a police officer.
There's just so many new types of weapons, so many ways to conceal a weapon. Like you can literally make a zip gun at home. I've seen that shit on YouTube before. You can actually look it up. There's so many videos.
That's got to be a future discussion that's gonna happen real quick.
For sure.
Police enforcement and.
Because honestly, like zip guns are, I've seen them before. It literally takes a copper tube, say, and all you do is you drop a 22 round in it. And you have a little bit bigger chamber around the back, and all you need is a firing pin. And it's literally a tube that you can hold in your hand. You can make it at home.
Okay.
And you pull back on, like, it's got like a spring system to pull the firing pin back in. You pull it back, and it just goes pop.
So you just pull the hammer. There's no trigger.
Exactly. You pull the hammer and it pulls the spring back and it just shoots the gun.
You can make
them so simply.
You can make a taser, a disposable camera you buy from Walmart.
Disposable camera. Actually, funny story. I've actually been shocked by a disposable camera.
No, I have too.
I was taking one apart and I was charging it just to see like what happened because I seen like this big spark and I wasn't really realizing that I was touching it. So I was charging it and everything and I'm charging it up and it's making like the whining sound and I'm like, oh hell yeah! Click the button. Boom! I'm not even kidding. My vision went black and I fell back and I like hit my bed and I was like, whoa! Like what? I kind of opened my eyes like a second later and it wasn't like it didn't really knock me out, but it like zapped me enough to make me fall back and like lose consciousness for a quick second, right?
But besides a taser and stun gun, have we invented any other weapons using electricity?
Electricity.
Besides like electricity, like I'm trying to think. Like I guess an electric chair.
Electric chair, electric fences,
electric fence. Yeah, because it's defense, right?
Tesla coils, like the Tesla discharge things.
Yeah.
Like they create lightning or whatever.
You could really say HARP, the electromagnetic, how they.
Oh, the weather system?
Yeah.
The HARP weather system.
That's just a theory, conspiracy, whatever the hell. But I guess
but that's the point. That's the point
run
of this.
along it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess, like, we haven't really developed that much technology with electricity, or that much weaponry with electricity, but it's in a lot of sci-fi movies and stuff.
Yeah,
like that,
you see like all those laser weapons and stuff like that, and that people are acting like that's the thing of the future. And honestly, it really is because they have lasers now. I've also seen on YouTube that they have lasers now that you can make strong enough. It will literally cut through things.
Yeah, like the engraved guns.
Exactly, you can engrave guns, laser engraving, stuff like that.
What do you know? You use a weapon to engrave a weapon.
Yeah, really. And then like stuff like they can create fire. Like you put a laser on paper and it creates fire. You can burn wood. Like they're becoming weapons slowly.
And
that's going to be something that we'll probably see in our lifetime. Before our generation's done, we'll probably see laser weapons, I assume.
Oh yeah, for sure. You ever hear? I learned about it today. Is the Rod of God?
What's that?
Have you ever played Call of Duty Ghost?
Okay, yeah.
The actual storyline.
Yep.
And right at the beginning, you're in space, and there's that weapon, and they shoot it down, and it fucks up that city.
Okay, yeah.
It's basically that. That was like a hint, like saying we have
like,
this.
It's like a space thing.
Yeah, it's up in space, like a satellite.
Like a satellite that shoots out a laser.
I don't want to be quoted on it, but it's like 15,000 pound like bomb.
And it's a bomb. It's not a laser.
No, it's a bomb. Yeah, and it comes from space, and it just lands, and it's huge. When they tested it, I'm not sure what country, but they tested it and I seen a pool. And it was this pond. And it's a 1.5 kilometer wide pond.
Yeah.
And what the pond was an impact site of where it hit.
So it was just water collected in the crater.
Yeah, in the crater, yeah. And how I learned about this is there was an explosion in August 13th, 2015, because it was like 2 days after my birthday, something like that, August 11th. It was in China. I'm gonna damage the name. I'm sorry, but it was like Tijuana. It was like Tijuana, but like it wasn't. Tijuana, whatever. What it was like a shipping shipping place where they bring in like all the rigs. I'm sorry, like the fucking giant.
Yeah, like containers. A freight yard.
Freight yard. Freighty. And they think that there was like a chemical reaction in one of them, and it went boom.
Oh, so like two chemicals mixed or whatever. And
it was really like just this water bottle was like a skyscraper, and you could like another like 2 feet would be like the explosion. Like
oh really? Like it was a huge explosion.
Went and like it shook buildings far. Oh, it was crazy.
I can only imagine the devastation around that city and everything.
Oh, it was a nasty explosion. And what they're thinking is that they can't figure out who did it, who sent it. Now they're thinking like the state sent it or whatever, but
I don't think it's more like as in like they sent it deliberately.
Yeah, deliberately they sent it. But here's the thing is that when you look at the video, and I looked at it with Jordan today, and we even looked at other Rod of God's attacks, like not attacks, but like detonations and stuff, like test footage. And the way it explodes.
So it looked like it didn't look like it was a chemical thing.
No,
it looked like a Rod of God.
The Rod of God hit, and it just boom, and that's what went off. And
really?
It was just a Rod of God, but no one really knows about that technology yet.
So everybody was like, "Wow, this shipping crate exploded."
Because they hit a freight yard.
Reality.
Yeah, so they're kind of smart about it. Like, well, let's hit the freight yard. They won't even know. Boom, and sure as shit, they're like, "Who did that?"
Yeah.
Why'd you do that? And like it's fucked because you can really do that. And like what I was watching this video.
I
Today,
wonder if that's actually a thing that's like in reality if it's been used. Like I understand we
Yeah.
may have the technology if we do, but has it been
No.
used yet?
Here's the next thing that it's scary is like if we did use it in China and we don't know who did it, why, anything. What
Who
makes that
used
scary
it?
is that like there's a conspiracy, whether it's true or not saying anything, but like there's a 9/11 conspiracy that Bush set it up, everything. Actually, I watched Loose Change. It's believable whether it is or
Okay.
not. But
Like the way
What I'm trying
they
to say is
pointed
that,
out the things that they
is
point
how
out as
yeah,
believable.
yeah. And so if they attack their own country and what they did is they fly in planes in it, well that leaves a paper trail and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if they don't know how they set up this huge explosion in China, what stops Americans from just drop it on themselves or in another country or like war just boom and no one knows who did it and also they did it and point the finger again like supposedly happened in 9/11.
So now we have all of this. So say if that was the case, now we have all of this discrimination against say Muslim people or Arab people.
They can use that as a new tactic for fear.
Exactly, right? So that's crazy.
They can strike fear into people.
Whether that be true or not, it probably isn't, but, everybody has their thoughts. But to think about that, that's honestly, not...
Who do you think would use it first? And it's not if, it's who. It's when. Who do you think... Actually, it's not who. I think Hillary and Trump would both use it.
What's that?
The rod of God. Or, I could see Trump...
Honestly, the Trump, I don't know about Hillary. She doesn't seem she'd be the destruction type. But Trump, Trump seems like it'd be more of a if shit didn't work out while he was president, he'd be like fuck everybody.
Yeah, fuck you, Putin. Hillary is evil. See, I don't have my facts straight now because I don't know the perfect terms, but there was an incident where a lot of people died and everything, and she was behind it, and there's belief that she was behind it. I watched a video today where there's some guy. The name's not to my tongue, but I don't want to say it because I don't want to damage the name. It wasn't Gandhi. It was Gofdi or I can't think of it.
Okay.
And it's a very serious matter. Well, she was about to do an interview, but there's off camera, but there was a camera rolling.
Okay.
And she's laughing about it. And
really?
Gaddafi, that was his name, Gaddafi.
Okay.
And she's like, oh yeah, Gaddafi, yeah, we came, he saw, he died, haha, and she even throws her head back and starts laughing. She's twisted.
She's a twisted woman.
And I believe it was Mr. Joe Rogan and his brilliant podcast. I was watching and he said, I believe it was Tom Papa, actually, that said it, is that with these two candidates, they literally gave us Trump so we could be happy with Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
Or they gave us Hillary so we could be happy with Trump. Now it's there's no happy medium. Mm-hmm. It's you're either gonna fuck up this way or fuck up that way.
Yeah, really, they don't give much of an option. Even I've heard before about the ballots. Apparently, there's the Trump option, the Hillary option, and then if you want, you write Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's right, because Bernie Sanders is just as much of a candidate as either of them.
Yes, but see, they only, we're not American, so I'm not too sure on the subject, but I'm pretty sure that they only allow, Democrats and Republicans, right? So, one from each party.
Okay.
And then,
But they give the shittiest options. They have two people that seem to want to do more harm than good to the country.
When I think about it, I'm more
you see all these Trump supporters and everything like that out there rioting and all that kind of stuff and causing harm to other people. That's not the country coming together. That's the country falling apart.
Now, when I see someone like Trump running for president, it seems really weird because now you have all this Congress. You have millions, thousands of people who are politicians. This guy's a businessman. Yes, he's a very good real estate agent. He's a good hotel owner.
He's a great businessman.
No, but he's also not. He tried Trump Airlines. It failed. He tried, I think his casino failed, too.
Really?
All he's really, good at was a TV show, The Celebrity Apprentice, and he was good with his Trump Tower and real estate and selling, headquarters of corporations' land. Okay. And that's what got his name. So now you're going to take this businessman and put him
turn him into the president?
Yeah, and you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Why are you turning a businessman into a politician?
Exactly.
And it just seems stupid. And now when I think of that, it's okay, is there really a set government, or is it there's a master of strings behind the scenes, and he's pulling the strings, and they're going to give you two puppets to decide from, but it doesn't matter what puppets you choose, it's this guy on the strings.
Exactly, it's the guy behind it all that really matters.
It doesn't be a guy, a group. Or
Yeah.
It's not exactly Illuminati, but
not
it's along the
not
lines.
a specific person behind it all, but like the idea of the higher power that's controlling everybody.
And when we think
like
just think about
people
humans,
think about the Illuminati.
Humans
how it controls
always
everybody.
like in a group, even like wolves, they have a leader of the pack.
Yeah.
So we're still animals. We're still a pack, and we need a leader.
And we need our leader, and that's what presidency is.
Yeah, they're giving us a false hope of a leadership, and then every 4 to 8 years we're gonna every 4 years we're gonna try and change it. Every 8 years we are. So that way you're always gonna think we have a new leader, and we're gonna be better off now, and we're gonna be happier, and we're gonna have change, and this is not gonna be the same. And it's just a false sense of hope, because how many times do they go, I'm gonna do this, and
it could be like I see that, and then I also see the side of where we switch out so often because. Why not give everybody a shot at it's our country, so let everybody have a shot at trying to give it a make it better. You know what I mean? Because if you have one solid person, then you only have one opinion, one view on the way the world should be, and that's how you create a plain, bland world. But the fact that they keep you change up presidents, you change up prime ministers, it adds It creates new news, new things that are going on.
Well, no, a prime minister can
new jobs.
A prime minister can get voted in from the day he's able to till the day he dies.
Yeah.
But see, this is what I always thought about it is that when you do something like America does, you're either setting yourself up for greatness or you're setting yourself up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if you have a guy and he's killing it and he's doing good and everybody likes him. Why are you gonna end it in 8 years on purpose?
Yeah,
just so the next guy can have a crack at it. This isn't a fucking crack at it. This isn't a new job.
If you're doing a good job, then why change it?
Yeah, why give it away?
If everything's good.
But so how Trump brought up the whole he's gonna build the
fence.
Yeah. So just last week or whatever he
and it's not and a lot of people
said
think
maybe it was just an idea.
Really?
Yep.
Because a lot of people know about the fact that he wanted to build one from Mexico to the United States, but also he was talking about building one from Canada to the United States.
Yeah, and specifically at Vancouver because of the heroin problem.
Exactly, and that's what I was just about to say. The fact that he wants to build one to Canada because of heroin. You think Canada's an issue of drugs?
Yeah. No.
You're gonna tell me that there's more drugs. Drugs are more of an issue in Canada than the United States.
Yeah, if Trump wants
that, if anything, we should be building a fence.
Well, and it's not who should build a fence, or whatever. But if Trump wants to go in and point at Vancouver,
there's no
then
point,
fuck
though.
you. I'm going to point at Detroit. You know what I mean? And it's not fair that I point at Detroit because it's a great city. The same reason Vancouver is. Exactly.
It's not a city that's bad because of drugs. It's stupid people in that city. That's still a thriving city. That's still a good city. That there's good people in it and everything. It's just you get a bad rap because when you go walk down the street, you see drug addicts, you see heroin addicts, you see prostitutes, you see stuff like that, and that's what gives the city a bad rap.
This is going to tie us right back into our original conversation about weapons. Is when when someone decides to build a wall like that to keep that problem away, you're not dealing with that issue. You're pushing that issue away instead of trying to deal with it. So now what happens instead is
I think it's creating more of an issue, to be honest.
The people on the other side of the fence is going to go, fuck you.
Exactly.
Now
that's
we
what
have
I'm saying.
a war. Now we're mad at each other.
It's creating more of an issue because there wasn't an issue there before. There was an issue of people coming across the border illegally and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we had that monitored. We have border officials. We could hire. That could create more jobs. We hire more border officials to make sure that nobody's coming across and stuff like that. But as soon as you create a fence, that is now creating a conflict. Yeah. Because that's how people get offended.
Exactly.
They're like, why don't you want me in your country?
Yeah.
Why are you trying to keep us out? I feel offended. I feel like you're trying to split our countries apart. Now that's when you get people not working in alliances like how Canada and the United States, if there was a war, we work together kind of thing.
Or
but
Canada
you build a border there,
France
you build a fence there, that kind of takes a little trust away.
Yeah, it dampens the
It's a trust issue.
Exactly, and it's the whole thing, and we went from just tribe versus tribe, and now just our tribe got bigger, and one thing I don't understand about it is we went from tribe versus tribe, But now, like, look at a picture of, like, an army. When you have an army lining up for a certain country, you don't see, like, all whites, all blacks, all Asians.
It's whoever.
It's a complete mix. So now it's not about race, it's not about religion,
fighting for
it's about
your
country. But why
your
are you fighting
country
for your
is your
country
family.
if you have the freedom to move wherever the hell you want? But you're gonna go and fight. Like, I never understood that we can go anywhere we want, but
you're still a citizen to that country. Like
Yeah,
you can't
like-
stay in any other country. You have to have proper paperwork, and you have to have a citizenship to stay in that country. So you're still, no matter what, you're always a guest in another country.
And it's just, it's so, like, I find it weird. Like, how I could immigrate to France, I could get my citizenship, and join their army and defend their army against my original country.
Yes, really. And you shouldn't be able to fight against your own country. It should. I honestly feel like it should exempt you from having to fulfill war duties.
If I can go and switch countries, then what's the point of countries fighting?
Exactly, because then
what's the point of having countries? And this awful weapon we could stop, but we don't. And the thing is that we, as a civilization, we learn to fight against each other. We build on fighting against each other. Now, if we ended this whole country border shit
and made it one big country, you mean, like one big, like
we don't
like
become
one
the
big
United
center
States, Canada.
colony.
We become Earth. We become like the IED, International Earth Directory. One nation under Gov. Because as of right now, what would happen if aliens invaded? We would be too busy fighting each other to
worry about another species.
And now so now let's say we made peace and we're all together, we're one country. Now they do come. Now we're ready to go.
Yeah, we're like, because there's no conflict between us. We're only worried about other things. And honestly, I feel like that could get our focus if we didn't have to worry about issues with other countries and issues with other societies and stuff like that. I feel like our society could become a lot better. We could get a lot more advanced technologies and stuff like that, because we'd be working together more.
Exactly.
We wouldn't have to have those wasted people fighting against, like, not wasted, but you know what I mean, like, we wouldn't have to waste lives fighting wars that don't even matter if we could just work together to create technologies and new medicines and new societies, new currency, like...
Yeah, exactly. Now, everyone out there, before you, like, chew my head off and think that I actually, like, believe this, I believe that this is a good thing. It's not. It's what, I see what his idea was. I'm talking about Hitler, and in no way do I agree with this man. He's a monster. Will always be remembered as that, and that's exactly what he is. But he wanted to have everybody the same religion with blonde hair, blue eyes, and white. Why? Because sacrifice the few for the many. If we killed this many people so we can all be the same race and we all stop fighting, we have one big fight, revolutionary fight, and then for the rest of history there's no more fights, and
because there's nothing to fight about. So he was basically trying to create a world with nothing to fight about.
Exactly,
like we're talking about taking away borders and creating one nation.
He was trying to make the whole world Germany.
But he was doing it in the wrong way.
No, yeah, exactly. That's why.
That's what makes him the monster. But is that the way he did it? But if he had the right idea and did it in a civilized way, he could have been a good person.
Yeah,
but it's just the fact that if he wasn't such an extremist, is basically what it was.
He was power stricken. And not even that, Mussolini.
Power hungry.
And Mussolini trained him, saying like, "Hey, listen, this is the only way you're going to get him to listen. This is the only way you're going to get him to do things for you. This is how you're going to control him." Yeah. And so now he becomes a puppet master, and he doesn't care about the puppets on the show.
So now, like we were talking about before, about the puppet that controls Trump or Hillary.
Yeah.
Mussolini is now the puppet that controlled Hitler.
Yeah, and then Hitler reached up and grabbed those strings, and once he felt that wooden handles,
he pulled that shit down and was ready to go for himself.
And it's the same thing like Bayer and Bayer, the medicine company, Bayer and they mix it across. Yep. That was founded by Hitler. And his doctor. Hitler, not Hitler himself, but his scientists just invented Tylenol. When they were doing all those fucked up subjects, which were fucked up,
yep.
You know, I know it's a touchy subject, but, and he was taking, like, twins. The reason why is because they would put, like, they literally see if we were, like, connected. Like, if I hurt this twin, what does this twin feel?
Okay, I see what you're saying, like, twin telepathy.
Yeah. And then, let's say, like, they would take, like, a disabled person or whatever. They would just take a regular person, and he would do tests on them so that way he was trying to figure a way that humans wouldn't get hypothermia. Here's a scary one. If anybody wants to look it up, Black Mountain. You will shit yourself when you listen to the story. It is absolutely incredible. He was trying to find a way that humans don't need sleep.
Really?
Because think about it. What 1/3 of our life is spent sleeping.
Oh, for sure.
So what if we didn't have that and we could just always stay up?
We could always have.
See, he was trying to better society, but way too. In a bad way, like crazy way, but I get
he was too insane.
He thought that was the only way.
In the right way.
He thought that was the only way you could, because like back then we just came with planes and stuff. We didn't have this internet thing and great communication. Like it was black and white video cameras.
Right.
It was like Charlie Chaplin days. But alrighty, alien heads, it's getting kind of late. We're gonna take off until our next video lands. I think we're out of here.